Alright friends, today we're going to be working on 5.7a. We will be solving problems by calculating conversions within a measurement system. That's going to be customary or metric systems. And when we do this, guys, we are going to be using our star chart a lot. So I'm going to have mine here for the video, but you will need yours on your desk at your, easy to access at all times because you will be using it a lot during this unit. So in order to solve these kinds of problems, we are going to use a tic-tac-toe board, and we are going to use it to solve our conversion every single time we do this. So we want to know, for our first example, how many ounces are equivalent to 8 pounds. So to solve this, I need to reference my star chart. I'm going to look at it over here, and I'm going to look for pounds and ounces. And I'm going to see that that is right here. It says 1 pound equals 16 ounces. That's going to be what I use to solve this problem. So I'm going to write it kind of to the side. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And I know that I'm converting pounds to ounces. So I'm going to put my pounds on the left side and my ounces on the right side. And it's important to know how many ounces are in 1 pound. So my chart told me that 1 pound equaled 16 ounces. So my 1 is going to go underneath my pounds, and my 16 is going to go underneath my ounces. And then I want to know, what am I converting? So I'm converting 8 pounds into ounces. So to solve this, I need to figure out, how do I get from 1 to 16? So I can either multiply or divide in my tic-tac-toe board. And I know from 1 to 16, it's getting bigger. So I'm going to multiply. 1 times 16 equals 16. So now that I have that, if I do the rule to the top, I need to do the rule to the bottom. So 8 times 16. I don't know all that off the top of my head. So 16 times 8. 6 times 8 is 48. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 4 is 12. So 16 times 8 is 128. And there are 128 ounces in 8 pounds. Next conversion, I want to convert 128 ounces to pounds. So I'm going to make a tic-tac-toe board. And I know that I am going to go ounces to pounds. So ounces will come first and pounds will be next. And for my last problem, I know that 1 pound equals 16 ounces. So ounces came first over here, so I'm going to put my ounces first. So 16 ounces is equivalent to 1 pound. So 1 will go under the pounds. And now I know that I'm going to convert 128 ounces. So 128 ounces will go under the ounces. And I'm going to figure out my rule. I want to know, how do I get from 16 to 1? Well, I know that I am getting smaller. So I'm going to take 16 and divide it by 16 to get to 1. And 128 divided by 16, because if I do it to the top, I have to do it to the bottom. And 128 divided by 16 is 8. So 128 ounces is equivalent to 8 pounds. For my next conversion, I want to convert 4 pounds to ounces. So my first step is to make a tic-tac-toe board. And I know that I'm going from pounds to ounces. So pounds will come first and ounces will be next. And this is the same as last time. 1 pound equals 16 ounces. I'm going to write that to the side. I'm going to put 1 underneath my pounds and 16 underneath my ounces. And if I have 4 pounds, pounds will go under pounds. And I want to know, how do I get from 1 to 16? I know that I'm getting bigger, so I'm going to multiply. 1 times 16 equals 16. So if I multiplied it on the top, I have to multiply it on the bottom, and 4 times 16 is how I get my answer. So 6 times 4, 4 pounds is equivalent to 64 ounces. For my next conversion, I want to convert 35 yards to feet. So I'm going to make a tic-tac-toe board. And I know that I'm going from yards to feet. So yards will be on the left side and feet will be on the right side. And I have a rule that gets me from yards to feet. So I need to go to my reference chart and I need to find where yards are next to feet. So if you look, I have 1 yard equals 3 feet. So this is the rule that I need for this problem. I need to know that 1 yard equals 3 feet. So I'm going to go back to my problem and write 1 yard equals 3 feet so I don't forget it. And I know if my yard is 1, 1 goes under the yards and 3 goes under the feet. And I want to convert 35 yards, so 35 is going to go under the yards. And now I can figure out my rule. So I know from 1 to 3 it's getting bigger, so that must mean that I'm multiplying by 3. So 1 times 3 equals 3. If I do it to the top, I have to do it to the bottom. So 35 times 3 is 105. So there are 105 feet in 35 yards. For my next conversion, I want to convert 124 feet to yards. So I need to look at my reference chart, and it's the same problem, so it's going to be the same information, but 1 yard equals 3 feet. It's important to know that. I'm going to take it to this one and write it down. 1 yard equals 3 feet. Make my tic-tac-toe board. I know that I'm going from feet to yards. So feet will come first, yards will come second. And 3 feet equals 1 yard. So 3 goes under the feet and 1 goes under my yards. And I know that from 3 to 1, I'm getting smaller, so I'm going to divide by 3. And I want to take 124 and figure out how many yards are in 124 feet. If I divided it to the top, I need to divide it to the bottom. On the bottom, so 124 divided by 3. I'm going to solve that over here. And I know that 3 goes into 12 4 times. 3 times 4 is 12. Now I can subtract. 12 minus 12 is 0. Bring my 4 down. 3 goes into 4 1 time. 1 times 3 is 3. So 4 minus 3 is 1. And I have a remainder of 1, but we don't have remainders in 5th grade anymore, so I'm going to turn this into a fraction. My remainder goes on top, and my denominator is my divisor. So 41 1/3 yards. There are 41 1/3 yards in 124 feet. For my next example, I want to convert 68 pints to quarts. So I need to build my tic-tac-toe chart. And I know that I'm going from pints to quarts. So pints will come first, and then quarts will be next. And I need to go look at my reference chart to figure out that one quart equals 2 pints. After I know that 1 quart equals 2 pints, I'm going to write that over here so I can remember that 1 quart equals 2 pints. Now I can place my 1 under my quarts and my 2 under my pints. And so I know that 2 to 1 is getting smaller. So in order for to get to 2 to 1, I have to divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And I want to go from 68 pints to quarts. So if I divided it on the top, I need to divide it on the bottom. And 68 divided by 2 is 34 quarts. So there are 34 quarts and 68 pints. For my last conversion, I want to convert 4 gallons to ounces. For this problem, I want to look at our star chart before we look at our tic-tac-toe board, because I just want to point out that when we're going from gallons to ounces, there is not a place on our chart that goes directly from gallons to ounces. There's a few steps in between our gallons and our ounces. So that tells me that I'm going to need more than one tic-tac-toe board, because I'm going to take it from gallons to quarts, from quarts to pints, from pints to cups, and then I can take it from cups to ounces. So we know that 1 gallon equals 4 quarts. So I'm going to turn my gallons into quarts before I take them to ounces. So if I build a tic-tac-toe board, I can take it from gallons to quarts. And I know that our chart told me that 1 gallon equaled 4 quarts. So I'm going to put 1 here and 4 here. How do I get from 1 to 4? So I'm going to multiply 1 times 4. If I multiplied 4 on the top, I'm going to multiply 4 on the bottom as well. So I will have my 4 gallons times 4, and that gives me 16 quarts. So now that I have 16 quarts, I can figure out, how do I get from quarts to pints? And so we're going to look at our star chart again, and we know that 1 quart equals 2 pints. So I'm going to put that into my tic-tac-toe. 1 quart equals 2 pints. How do I get from quarts to pints? It would be times 2. And if I had 16 quarts here, I'm going to put my 16 quarts here. And 16 times 2 is how I figure out how many pints I have. And 16 times 2 is 32. So I have 32 pints. And I'm going to go back to my star chart and see that 1 pint equals 2 cups. So now I can go from pints to cups. So I'm going to go from pints to cups. And 1 pint equals 2 cups. So 32 pints is going to go where my pints are. If I am going from 1 to 2, I'm getting bigger, so I'm going to multiply by 2. And 32 times 2 will tell me how many cups I have. That's 64 cups. And now I want to take my cups, and I can finally turn my cups into ounces. So 1 cup equals 8 ounces. I'm going to go down here and make one last tic-tac-toe board. I know that I'm going from cups to ounces. And 1 cup equals 8 ounces. And I'm going to take my 64 cups and turn them into ounces. So 1 to get to 8 would be times 8. 64 times 8 would be 512 ounces. So 4 gallons equals 512 fluid ounces. I know that last one was a little more work than the other ones, but you are not to be experts today. If you guys will, please glue this into your journals and then write your sentences in Schoology